Do you remember when you were young and you had this one favorite band? You were the biggest fan, you knew the songs, maybe even you bought every magazine and cut out every poster. Yeah, for me it was, if you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends, make it last forever, friendships never end. Spice Girls. Except for, it wasn't just about liking Spice Girls, it was about becoming Spice Girls. Me and my friends, we took it very seriously. We created a band. Nice. We knew the lyrics, the moves, we met to rehearse choreographies, we had roles. And because I happened to have ginger hair, I became Ginger Spice. And Ginger Spice, if you remember, she was strong, independent, she always spoke her mind. I was 12 years old, and without knowing, I had just chosen my identity for the next 20 years. And at the beginning, it worked in my favor. Ginger Spice gave me confidence, a spine, a voice. I wasn't pretty and I wasn't popular at school. I wore those horrible thick glasses, so all kids made fun of me. But Spice Girls made me brave. I wasn't shy to speak up, to stand out, to be weird. So I took it further. Good education, moving to another country, starting new career, earning my own money. And I was so proud that I could do everything myself and I didn't need anyone. Being independent, self-sufficient woman felt like the highest achievement, a badge of honor. So I kept going, believing that independence equals freedom and happiness, that strength means needing nobody, and that a woman who is doing everything herself is winning in life. I believed it completely for a very long time until I didn't. Because somewhere in my adult life, I noticed something uncomfortable. Independence was great, but very, very tiring. I had to think about and do everything myself all the time, which means constant stress, pressure, and loneliness. And surprisingly, it got even worse when I got into a relationship because, of course, as a proud, independent woman, I insisted on going 50-50 with my partner. But I end up doing most of the cleaning, cooking, and house chores, and that caused even more stress, more agitation, feeling unappreciated and unhappy. I really didn't like this angry version I became, and I even started to resent my partner. Something had to change. This independent woman script didn't work for me. But what was the alternative? A devoted housewife, a woman who sacrifices her dreams and desires for family and calls it a purpose. And there is nothing wrong with that, but that wasn't me either. So I was standing between those two options I didn't like. I am definitely not coming back to independence, but maybe I could play with a different type of devotion. What if devotion wasn't my primary goal, but a side effect of me taking care of myself? What if I allow myself to be an egoist and did all of those nice things, but not for my partner? And not because it was a noble thing to do, but for myself. And as a result of this experiment, I got to experience something that I probably never felt in my entire life. A moment of lightness. And I found freedom to do everything I wanted. It felt as if I put a dress on, a dress that I always stay away from because whenever I saw it on other people or in the shops, I hated how it looked. I was convinced it's not for me, but I had nothing to wear. So I put that dress on and wow, it feels amazing. It looks phenomenal. I love that feeling. I knew I am not coming back. And something unexpected happened because almost without working on the relationship, my partner started to change too. as if we both fell into roles that we were naturally built for, and as if we stopped fighting against nature. And at this moment you may think, well, that sounds like a fairy tale. A woman discovers softness, life becomes beautiful, what's so hard about it? Well, maybe if I was single and I could start as a blank canvas, it would be easy. But I was in a long-term relationship, and change in relationship dynamics means a lot of clashing and fighting. If you spend years and decades of being strong and in control, letting go of the driver's seat is terrifying. Imagine trusting and following someone if everything inside you shouts, I know better. But the hardest part probably was to learn what softness actually is, because I thought that looking feminine, long hair, nice dresses is the same as being soft, but it's not. Softness is more about the energy, presence, how you move through the world. Softness requires vulnerability, knowing how to receive, how to express appreciation. I learned that women have different type of power, and most of us have been taught to be embarrassed by it. Is the power of beauty, joy, peace. A woman that is so alive that she becomes magnetic. She is like water. She creates an environment full of peace and beauty that people are drawn to her. They feel inspired and they go to the world and create great things for her. But the world will call this woman manipulative, shallow, that she's only using her looks. But your beauty, your energy, your light, those are not tricks. Those are your invisible contribution, and if done right, if you own them and cherish them, they become foundation that someone else build their dreams on. You only have to learn to recognize and value those contributions first, because if you don't, nobody else will. And let me give you a tiny, silly example of how changing something for myself changes it also for my partner. So sometimes me and my partner, we go for a coffee in town. Nothing special, just normal, casual coffee. But I make myself look special. I overdress. I make effort not to impress my partner, but to impress myself, because I like it, I want it, and it makes me feel good. And then my partner, seeing me who wanted to wear those normal casual clothes, he changes his mind. Now he's making effort too, and now we both look nice. He didn't have to do it, but it's nice that he did. You see, when you change your energy without expectation, the room changes with you. And I am still in this work. I am still learning and unlearning, still facing the mirror that shows me that I am not the person I say I am. I'm still trying not to micromanage my partner, and I'm still fighting my Eastern European way of talking when I think I sound soft and honest, but somehow come across too directional and controversial. But that's okay. I like the process. Those moments when it all works, they are like a compass, showing me that the life can be easy and effortless. What I want you to remember is that there are many scripts out there, and they all work, and they all require sacrifices, and there is a secret ingredient, your conscious choice. And I don't mean the choice that you follow without questioning, or I don't mean doing something because it works for everybody else. I mean the choice that you take when you actually stop, get quiet, and ask yourself, what do I actually want? And I know that it may seem like the choice always comes from a place of total freedom, like a menu of unlimited option and we can just point to what we want. That's not the reality of most women. Most of us are limited by circumstances, history, culture, programming. And you may be facing a set of options that are not perfect at all, and you may be thinking, there is no choice. But there is. The choice is what you make with what you have, how you see it, and what you build from it. And when you stop following any script, you actually choose your own life. Thank you.